everyone comes out with a chip on their shoulder. It's honestly 0-0 from that point on once the regular season ends. So we knew that they're a really tough team, really gritty, really hard to play against. So I think just knowing that about them, we expected that fight from them. So all respect to them. They played really well. And, I think just we had that in the back of our minds going into the game.
For both of you, maybe it hasn't hit, but this was your last game in front of
this.
To know that this is it in terms of this place.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a place that's, Coach said it after the game, we filled the crest every game, and it's amazing to play in front of that many people every game that we have here. And like you said, it hasn't really hit yet that we will never step foot in that gym and play again in front of that many people, but honestly, very thankful that everybody comes out and supports our team like that. Nobody else in the league has that support, and like Jazz said, it gets a little emotional when you think about it, but very thankful to have that community support.
Now that you guys have experienced tournament time semis in there in Indy, I know you played on that court during the regular season. Is it any different during the tournament as opposed to a regular season game there? In terms of atmosphere or just anything?
Oh, we don't play regular season there.
You don't?
No.
Okay, my bad.
Farmers Coliseum, so it's just a different venue.
Okay.
Yep. Scratch.
So
It's
now
okay.
you guys play Robert Morris in the semifinals, another team that you've really controlled, but I know that this is a different beast of a year. How are you feeling about that game as you kind of look ahead compared to the first two meetings?
I mean, honestly, we just finished the game. We're not really looking ahead yet, but we know going into each game like what we have to do, and we know again that everyone's coming in to give us their best. We always have a target on our back, so I think just going in there fully prepared and trusting ourselves, trusting our preparation, and knowing that we've been in that situation before for the past however many years, just taking that experience and using it to our advantage.
Kayla, how do you think the girls came out and played, and just kind of your thoughts on that?
I was really happy with our approach. I think it's a really veteran team, and I think every coach, when you get to postseason and after you enjoy what we had last Saturday, I think a lot of coaches would get nervous, like, are we ready? Are we focused on the next thing, or are we satisfied? And I just really didn't feel that with this group. I could just tell right away the next day at practice that they were locked in and that they wanted more. And so I didn't even really feel like it was worth addressing. And I could just tell. I thought throughout the game, too. I loved the way we started it, and I felt like in the third quarter we just got a little bit loose. And, typically defensively we're just a lot tighter than that. And we let them get going and make too many shots. So that's why we called the timeout. But we talked about it, and after that we tightened right back up again, and then we're determined to put them away. So I was really happy with our approach.
42 total rebounds tonight, too. That's up there for the season for you guys.
It's got to be.
How good does that feel seeing that number?
Well, it's a really important thing. We talked about it prior to the game that we felt like we could go get offensive rebounds, and I think Jazz really set the tone early by doing that, and then she had 7 for the game. So, and a couple of them came at really crucial times, like right before the end of a quarter, and just made something out of nothing. And I think that's it can be really detrimental to a team like that when, especially when they switch between man and zone. A lot of times in the zone, that's just hard to rebound out of. And so I think we took advantage of that. I love that we had 48 points in the paint. We were just really dominant inside tonight.
You go into this tournament, I think in the net rankings you're like 74th overall. Only one time in the Horizon has somebody gotten in that large bid. Do you feel like, hey, to get to the NCAAs, we have got to win this tournament? Or do you feel like, hey, if you can get to the championship game, maybe you could get in that?
No, I believe we have to win it. I think at this point that's the mindset that we're all going in with.
Maddie, when it comes to you, I mean, talk about your game tonight and how you were feeling, and obviously the leading scorer in this one.
Going into tonight, it was no different than any other night. Just go out and play like you can play. Jazz handed me the ball, and they went underneath. Everybody was like, read the scouting report. But once I saw one go in, it gets you feeling good, and just kind of play off of that. But like I always say, I can't do what I do without my teammates, so credit to them.
What was the secret? I mean, they have the second leading scorer in the Horizon this year, and again for the third time you guys really just shut her down. What's kind of the secret to that success when a lot of other teams haven't been able to do that?
Maybe Bailey Butler.
Bailey Butler.
I mean, that girl's IQ and overall defensive presence is unmatched, and I don't think I've ever played with someone like her, especially on the defensive end, but I know she gets us all going. Whether she's the person guarding them or not, she holds our expectations for us very high on defense. And if we're not living up to what our standards are, she's going to tell you. So I think that she sets the tone for defense, honestly, for us.
Kayla, what's this like for you, your first year back here and getting to the semifinals and getting to experience that now as a coach rather than a player?
Yeah, it's really special, but at the end of the day, it's just really not about me. It's about these guys, and I think when you're a coach, you know that there's always going to be a next season and a next season, and when it's your playing career, you just only have so much time. So I try to remember back to those feelings and really tap into that and just continue to keep the spotlight and focus on them because I want everything for them. I just think that they're great people and they've handled this whole year really well, and they've been great to me and to our new staff, and that must have been really hard initially to try to accept all that and a lot of changes, but I just want what they want, which is everything, and I want it for them.
With 7 seniors going into an environment like this, is it a lot easier than, let's say, a younger team? Because these girls probably are not going to crack under the pressure.
Well, yeah, I think what you're saying is us coaches we draw confidence from them because we look at them, and even though you might see a shoot around be like a little bit loose, or even in warm-ups today, like I watch them shoot and they're just in a really good place. And when they're veterans and they're loose, you know that they know what to expect, and they know it's going to be a tough game, and they know when the buzzer sounds, it's time to go. And so I think that we watch that and we draw confidence from them because they've been here before and they know how special it is.
What's the key between now and Monday to get ready for that semifinal match?
Well, with a couple days in between here, knowing only, of course, our first opponent, we just really focus on them. And then so much of this right now and at this time of year is to keep you physically fresh and mentally fresh and just to keep you in a really good place. So, we clean up things, and certainly we have to keep our bodies ready to go and just stay as healthy as we can before Monday.
Jazz, what do you remember from your last trip to Indy? I know obviously it's probably one of your core memories from that, your time here, but just how special is it to be going back and kind of reliving those moments?
I mean, honestly, I think obviously last year was the best outcome. So I think experiencing that after the hardships that we had faced in the first few years, really refreshing to be on the other side of that. I think, like Coach said, we draw a lot of confidence knowing our experience and knowing that we've been there before. So I think just going into this trip to Indy, it's taking it one game at a time, but also knowing we've been there the past however many years, and we have to use that to our advantage. Yeah, I think that's it.
Kayla, I know you don't have the correct answer for this, but how do you get Cassie Shields going? It seems like she's struggling a little bit shooting the ball, and where do you think she's at, mentally right now?
I think she'll be totally fine. I trust that 100%. So the solution is keep shooting, and that's it.
Kind of like what Coach said, we're just going to keep focusing on us and focusing on the next opponent ahead and staying fresh. We have each other, and that's what's most important. And we're going to go out there and lay it all out there on Monday and then hopefully get that win. But right now we're just focused on Monday.
Is good. I got one more. Kayla, what do you hope these girls take out of the trip to Indy?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's really challenging, honestly, when you're in it, you're so focused on next practice, okay, next opponent, and I think when we first get down there, it's just really important to stop and just stand back and appreciate things. And maybe Sunday when we get in the facility to shoot a little bit, we can do that and just realize how special it is because it does go by really fast. I remember that as a player, and especially these times when you're so hyped and it's March Madness and it's happening all around you. There's excitement in a lot of different games and different leagues, not just ours. So it's really important to stay present in the whole thing, but just stand back and appreciate it a little bit. It's not a bad thing either, and just be really grateful for where this team is at because I think these guys are playing with their best friends right now, and the opportunity to continue to do that is shrinking every day, and they know that. So they need to stand back and appreciate it.
Thanks for that. Thank you. Try not to think about it, but there it is, I guess.